Okay, thank you. If you don't mind, I'm going to speak from here. And I don't want to frustrate anybody, so I'm not an expert in this field. I'm just a physicist. So I work with quantum mechanics, in fact. And it's very impressive how basic science is starting to help issues like food and health in general. Okay, so I am from University of São Paulo. And I have a laboratory in biophotonics. If you don't know what biophotonics is, using light for life science, either detecting or treating disease. And since food is in life science, I consider appropriate to give you a few ideas what we do. So normally we use light to either fix something inside the cell or to produce a reaction to kill the cell, or a microorganism. And this is good because we can cure infections by going directly to the microorganism and so on. So I have a large program with more than 50 people involved, medical doctors and everything. And just for you to have an idea why I'm getting involved on this, we in my lab are challenging cancer. So our main goal is to treat cancer with non-expensive techniques and secure and efficient, but we are also fighting the infections and diagnosis too. And normally we're using 3 ingredients, what they call photodynamic action, which is a reaction, I'm going to explain to you, ultraviolet or ozone as an oxidative medium to kill whatever we want to kill, including plagues in the agriculture. Those are diseases we've been treating, and this is very efficient because sometimes by putting some molecule in microorganism or in colony of bacteria, we can kill 10 log orders. So these people will say this is almost a sterilization of the infection. Okay, so this is the kind of thing we are developing, and we have already launched. It's a paper that is getting very famous, that we can clean blood. We start with blood that has infection. We separate the cells from the plasma. We pass to a machine that we developed, and then from there, we clean it up. We kill all the bacteria or virals, and then we recombine. This is things we're doing. We've been able to decrease like hepatitis 6 log orders in the virus. This is also a nice thing. We are cleaning up organ from transplantation, but just by circulating liquid and clean it up. And this is a work together with the University of Toronto in Canada. And this is also very interesting. We're producing a kind of pop that the kid can stay in the mouth, and this dissolves, goes to the bacteria on the throat, and then we just illuminate. And in 94% of the cases, we can kill the infection, if it is bacteria-based infection, in less than 10 hours. And this is also became a very interesting program, and we are already in phase 3, going now to a big mood center. And we are cleaning lungs too. We hope to, by making people breathing some molecules and illuminating extra body, we can produce photoreaction and clean it up pneumonia. This is already in progress, and we're having a big success on that. Everything is combined in a book, and but we are also concerned about food safety because we have an intrinsic interest in the place where I come from, Brazil, and this map showed to you 2 things, show in colors the projection of nutrition, subnutrition, and in the numbers is the estimated increase in food production. So as you can see, Brazil is expected to reach the year 2020 with 40% increase in production of food. And of course, together with increasing production comes many problems. I'm going to jump to this just to show to you that Brazil is being an important player in the food production. Somebody told me, and it is in the internet, that we are already producing 30% of the grains consumed in the world. And I think like soybean production, as you can see, that's increasing very fast. And so production is being very good. Where we are exporting, we are also good producers of beef and chicken, and those are the places where they go. You know, maybe your country is listed there. And it's a huge production, but together with all of this, and that is something very important that I learned recently. If you take the countries around the world that are important producers of food, and you go and ask, what is the land still available for increasing production? You see that most places are saturated, and Brazil has a huge, the light green is the amount of land that we still have to produce food. And this is taking out the protected area like Amazon and so on. So we take all those jungles out, we still have, we are only cultivating 20% of the land that we could cultivate. So of course, places like that will be an important producer of food. But together with production comes the problems, comes the diseases. We are already a very large producer of orange, but unfortunately, all those diseases that I'm not going to elaborate in each of them are in the orange plantations, and they all diseases that demand extermination of the trees. We cannot go and throw anything. We have to remove the tree and something like 100 trees around it. So those are problems. And also transportation. The center where we produce food is not the center where food is consumed. And during transportation, you have a lot of problems like you all know about. We are also having a problem with the fresh meat. They have contamination with E. coli. And normally people don't care too much because you heat up food. But now we export a lot of food in nature, in natura, frozen food and things like this, and they have to be clean, right? Otherwise, we transfer to other places the problem. Salmonella is also a big problem. I don't have to tell you about, but our chicken and eggs are with problem. They fail tests here in Europe, and people are worried about that, and we have to help the industry. Brazil is also became an important fish producer. This is the increase of farms of producing salmon and other types of fish that you may not know. And also is being one of the largest producers of alevinos, which is the young baby fish for the world. But you know, to solve the problems of diseases, we just fill it up with the animals with drugs. We have drugs in the fish, in the chicken, in the cow, and of course the man is all filled with drugs, and we are facing a big problem now. You know that the number of bacteria resisting those drugs are increasing a lot, and therefore we have challenges to avoid that. Manipulation of meat is also a problem, because we made some estimation. I'm going to sell some measurements that during the processing, some meat is getting some contamination too, even with all the care that you are taking. So we do some research involving 3 principles. Ultraviolet, as you know, ultraviolet is ionizing radiation that breaks part of DNA in microorganisms, so you prevent multiplication of microorganisms. But also we discovered recently that ultraviolet produces the unfolding of protein. And this is also an interesting thing, because sometimes we don't ionize, we make the proteins to unfold. And then you stop process of multiplication and things. We use ozone. Ozone is, you all know, is O3, a very important molecule for life, and is very oxidative, especially for microorganisms. Ozone, when interact with a lot of charge, double bonds and things, it oxidizes and leaves O2 free to fly. And this normally takes 20 minutes. So if I put ozone in this room, we're going to all be a little bit oxidized, and then in 20 minutes, the ozone is over. And we use the photodynamic action. This is very interesting. We produce molecules that we put inside where we want, and then we activate by light visible light or infrared light. We excite the molecule, we transfer energy to oxygen and oxidize whatever we want. And then the severe oxidation is what we use to treat cancer, and now can be used to control microorganisms in meat or in fruits. And so, I'm going to just give you a few examples of things we're doing. The first one was a challenge placed by a company in Mexico that is cleaning up broccolis. They are the largest exporter of fresh broccolis to the United States, and they have a problem. Normally they use hyperacetic acid, but they reach a level that is intolerable, and the United States don't want to accept anything higher than that. You may know better than I those regulations. But the worst problem is that they throw to the fields the water they use to process the broccolis. So the soil is getting a pH too high to be productive. So we propose a solution that's well known, is the use of the UV, and what we do is we make the water they use a closed circuit, and we clean it up the water as the water washes the broccolis. So with one portion of water that they use to expand every day, they now can expand every month. So it's a saving of 1/3, or a factor of third. Okay, sorry. And this is the actually reactor, is a different reactor. We are physicists, so we love to put light sources and make sure that the amount of light is reaching the place that should. This is is a big machine, it's like 2 meters high, tall machine, but cost very little. This cost $20,000 for cleaning up about 200 liters per second water. Okay, so with a reactor like this, we show that this is dose energy delivered. We can clean it up in most part of the bacteria that are present in the broccoli. And then we made many proofs of principles, and this is a data from the factory, how much can we clean it up, but I think the next one is the nice one. This one, the yellow one, is how much we cleaning up the broccolis as a function of time, and the blue one is how many microorganisms is being found in the solution circulating. So in the beginning, when we turn on the machine, you see the blue is going up. Of course, we are washing out the broccolis, and then suddenly comes down very fast, and the broccoli is coming down and down and down. So washing out for a few minutes, we can actually get to levels where the hyperacetic acid could not reach. So we are now able to decrease the 4 to 5 log decrease in the colony countings in the broccoli production, and this is being accepted, and I hope it will be a big thing. And here's some study of everything we can kill, and now we are applying the same technique for the farm, because when they have this fish farm, they use a lot of antibiotics to prevent the disease on the fishes. And we propose to circulate the water in a UV kind of reactor, and at least for shrimp and for salmon, it's working very well. And then this is now in the application of this. And of course, we use it also for fruits. Brazil is producing fruit 365 days a year now with this irrigation and program, but they get those diseases, fungus especially, and ultraviolet is helping a lot to clean it up. This is the thing we are implementing in the big factories now in Brazil, is UV stations. So during the manufacture or the manipulation of the meat has to pass to many stations of UV light where they circulate for 30 seconds, and with that we are getting 3 to 4 log scales decrease in the final contamination of the meat. And also in fish, this is some data. Oh, by the way, this is a very interesting data. We collect food in the main supermarkets around Brazil, and they all have levels of contamination that's increasing. They are very close to the limit acceptable by the regulation. So if they can work a little better in the factory, they will improve a lot, including how they package the food. if they package the food in the correct atmosphere, that will clean it up during the transportation using ozone. Okay, this is ozone. We are developing very nice technique to dissolve well ozone in water. And we made a test in the coffee plantation to kill plugs on the coffee. And they are as efficient as some of those chemicals they throw in the coffee plantation to kill the fungus. And without any harm to the environment, because this will become nothing. We will oxidize and we will go away, and the plant has a so big mass that actually what is affected is the fungus on the leaves and in the tree. And this is also a meat device to clean up meat, and we are proposing to pass meat through some ozone atmosphere and package it with some ozone vaporize. And we did a test. I don't know if it is here. Yes, it is. And we could keep meat 5 hours longer outside the refrigerator without symptoms of putrefaction or getting bad. And with this, you see, the black bar is the control of the meat they package today. If they do some simple things the way we say, you can decrease from 3 to 4 orders of magnitude the salmonella and other bacteria on the meat, and including the eggs. And I think this will be a good solution. This is, I cannot see from here, I'm sorry, I don't remember. Oh, this is, we treat meat in the bag and unbag, I think. Preliminary, oh, sorry, I don't remember. We show that if we package in a correct way, you can have no problem during transportation and so on. Now we are doing devices to vaporize ozone in solution, and lettuce that normally you have to put many things there, or those vegetables. It seems to survive very well without affecting any quality of the food. And I think ozone is not only good to protect the earth from the UV, but it's good also to kill the bacteria in the field. Recently, we demonstrated that we can, dengue, you know, is the mosquito, the Aedes aegypti, which is the main causes of dengue, chikungunya, and Zika in Brazil. And we developed a very nice technique that we throw some molecules in the water, and the larvae of the mosquitoes eat. And then during the sunrise, we oxidize the larvae, and we've been able to decrease 80 to 90% the amount of larvae. This is being tested in field already, but we don't have the final approval to use in Brazil fields. But we did get permission to produce a substance based on curcumin to throw a little bit on the water, and those are water reservoirs that let the sunlight pass through, and then we do photooxidation of the bacteria in there. We don't clean the solid particles, but we clean everything that's alive inside by photoreaction. And now we are doing equivalent for fruits. It seems, at least for tomatoes and vegetables like lettuce or rucola, that by putting a vaporize of curcumin is also food, right? So we are using food to help food. So you vaporize, and the room light, this is a paper that's being published, we prevent the contamination and the formation of fungus and everything. So this is a nice combination, and I think I went a little bit out of the topic by showing you some technical things people are doing. And I realized, I saw the talks today, and this only confirmed what I realized in Brazil is that too many people in between production and consumption of food. So somehow we have to act very objective in some of the points where that make a difference. We can't go and put everybody in the same room and say, oh, let's talk. They always have different purpose and different ends. And and also there is something is called economic reality. If you want to take food from people by imposing very high technology, this is not going to happen. People don't want to, they prefer to be sick than starve. So we got to come with solutions that are safe and within the economic reality of countries. And of course, education is everything. And I thank you very much for your attention.